All right, welcome back to iTourmoto. Again, this is Julio Rivero, and this is a third episode of the podcast series. And syempre today, usapang adventure riding again. But this time, it's going to be about tools, riding essentials, and roadside fixes. And definitely, we have special guests today, and I'll let them introduce themselves. Do you guys want to say your name and say something about yourself? And then, yeah.
Hi, I'm Dennis. I come from the group Adventurers PH, and I represent the shop Reborn and Company. This is Inigo Pimentel from Grit.
Yeah, so I'm Inigo from Grit PH. Basically, I do apparel, but I tinker around bikes as well. I'm happy that Dennis trusts me with regarding my mechanical skills. I guess we've been through a lot. This guy's just a humble guy, but pretty much the ambulance of most adventure riders now.
Yeah.
Dennis!
Medyo kilalang kilala na yan. Yeah, so Dennis, do you want to talk to us about Presco and your shop here? And guys, we're recording from Presco Coffee Shop, no? But I'll let Dennis talk more about it.
Yeah, we're recording from Presco Coffee right now. Presco Coffee is in Bikutan, Better Living. Currently, our shop Reborn and Company fixes motorcycles and also does tires and other PMS related for motorcycles. It's in Saudi Arabia Street in Better Living.
Yan.
So you guys can come over next time if you want your bikes fixed and tuned by us.
Yeah.
Our chief mechanic also is specialized in electricals. So if ever you need aux lights and other things, you can have it installed as well.
Okay. If you're riding south, especially, no, you can drop by, exit lang kayo sa Bikutan. And then from there, lapit na. Para mga less than 10 minutes, you can be here. Okay. Well, first of all, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for going all the way here again and to tell us about your experience with being your adventure riding. So basically, right? So our topic would be about tools, ano yung mga bit-bit ninyo during adventure ride, and ano ba yung mga essentials, right? And share with us your experience doon sa pag nag-bug down yung machine. Ano yung mga nangyari at ano yung mga tips that you can give to our listeners para when they go out on adventure, they'll be prepared, right? So I'll start with Dennis.
Before we begin, some of you might think that bringing the tools, or you might question your own knowledge about how to fix motorcycles and all that. But the first thing I usually tell people is that just bring the tools and the spare parts that you need. Because even though you do not know how to fix your motorcycle, I'm pretty sure as a community, we all help each other. There will be some mechanic or some rider who will just pass by you and try to help you out. But if you do not have the spares and you do not have the tools to fix your motorcycle, even that person who might be knowledgeable in helping, he will not be able to help. So this is the reason why we always encourage everybody, even if you do not know how to fix your motorcycle, please bring the things that are needed to fix your motorcycle. And this is part of the list that we need to talk about.
Yeah. So what you're saying is dalin mo na lang, right? And then
Yeah.
on the way naman, meron dyan mekaniko na tutulong sa'yo if you don't know how to do
Or
it.
even a shop. Kasi parang, especially if we do adventure rides on big bikes, most of the time, small shops won't be carrying parts for your bikes. So every time that you park in their doorway, they'll say, wala kami, di namin kaya anuhin yan. So they know how to turn the knobs, and they know how to turn the screws, ganyan. At least magkakaroon ka ng fighting chance to either get somewhere, go home,
Right.
because you have stuff with you for your bike. So yeah, that's just to add on to that.
Even as simple as removing the tire,
Ayusin ko yung mic mo. Lapit ka na-
even as
lapit
simple
ka
as
sa-
moving the tire. Vulcanizing shops are actually scared to remove the tire of a big bike because usually when they just look at the nut lang, they say, no, we don't have that tool. So even as simple as that, we need to carry the tools to remove our tires. Especially with more modern bikes, they come with
kakaiba yung itsura.
Sukat eh. No?
Tingin
Tsaka
mo pa lang,
yung sa tenere parang yung tires no, parang 21 yata yung open range no. I don't know.
27 sa likod.
27,
Tapos yung to remove the front, you need a special tool. It's called a spindle. That's not normal. No, hardly any shops carry that na for big bikes
Sobrang
normally.
laking allen.
Yeah.
Actually, ang technique dun, bolt eh.
Bobolto mo na.
Hindi, yung
Unless
ulo
na
ng
gusto mo wasakin ng vulcanizing shop yung ano.
Yeah. So simple as
carry
that.
the
Just
tools.
requesting for to fix a tire, flat tire. You need to carry the tools kasi nga they will not have the tools to help you out.
Okay, so speaking of tools, anong laman ng mga toolbox nyo? Like if talking to someone new, right? Ano yung i-advise nyo? Dapat meron kang ganito, ganyan. Yeah, that will be a nice but anyway, andyan ba?
But it's a podcast, diba? So you won't be able to hear it. You won't be able to see it much eh. Pero normally, what I normally recommend is you start with the tools that came with your bike. Normally kasi they're not complete, pero they should be able to do the basics. So basics lang, for example. The first example, removing the tire. The most common issue is just a flat tire. So we just get the tools that are needed to remove the front and rear. And normally they're different tools. They're different sizes, but we still need to carry those things.
Yeah.
So along with that, if let's say mga adventure riders tayo, you need tubes. Even if you need to carry the tubes that are fit for your bike. So you need to carry, say,
May sinasabi sila sa tubes na parang 21 lang yung dalhin mo. Tama ba yun? Or it's still better to bring 2 tubes for different sizes?
That's a nice question, and I've asked myself that many times. They say in a 21 you can carry a 19, and you just stretch it out and just limp your way back home. There are 2 types of adventure riders Yung mga nagtodo karga, like just want to be complete. They don't care and they don't calculate the weight.
Yeah.
And there are what part of the Facebook group yung ultralight ADV. ULADV, where they just carry the minimum requirement just to get home, everything. They weigh everything down to the gram. For those that are so cautious about the weight, you probably will carry just 1 tube lang. And you carry the size in between your front and back. But if you are generally an ADV bike na you don't care much about the weight or you're not that picky about the weight, you carry both the front and the back, especially considering, let's say, for example, your Tenere 700. That thing in the front is a 21, it's a 90-21.
Yeah.
So that's a huge, thin tube. And the one at the rear is a 130? Parang ganun. That's 18 rear. That's a fat tire. That's a fat small tire. So if you're gonna use the front on the back, parang you're gonna...
you're gonna pinch it somewhere.
The difference is way too big. You cannot. So you have to carry both talaga.
Yeah. What's the weight difference? Like why does weight matter dun sa... What's like adding another kilo for an extra tube? Ano bang mindset doon?
It depends where you put the tube on the bike. Kasi if you put it on the rear, if you fall down, that's an additional kilogram you have to lift off the ground. And you can think like it's nothing, pero if you do that several times, especially if you're, for example, nga lang yung FJ Moto, how many times you have to pick your bike off the ground? It adds up, ba?
For those who are watching the video version of this podcast, Inigo is gonna show us what's inside his toolbox. Yan. But Nico, can you describe then later para dun sa Spotify listeners na kasi audio lang doon But going back, so tubes. But for you, would you recommend to bring both or isa na lang?
I recommend to carry both because part of riding off-road, especially a little bit longer distance, medyo time conscious tayo.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to get caught in the dark while you're riding off-road, which I have, diba? So you don't want to get caught in the dark. So what happens is if you put the wrong size tube there and you pinch it again, I don't know how long it takes for you to fix a tire. It can range from 30 minutes up to 2 hours, depending. And you don't want to do that twice.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, you might as well just bring the extra kilogram and do it once and do it right.
Yeah.
I guess it...
That makes sense. Yeah. So far, your first thing is bring the special tools for your
The specific tools.
specific tools for your bike.
Or the
Second,
tools that came with your bike.
the tools, ayan, I think
That's a
the way.
start. That's a starting point. So it's removing the front wheel, the back wheel,
do
Allen
not lose
Allen
your
wrenches will be
toolkit.
included there. Spark plug, SPARK, spark plug remover.
Oo
Very
nga,
important.
no? Oo nga. Actually, nangyari yan dun sa FJ Moto. I think kila Mao, di ba? Nung yung naghanap sila ng spark plug remover.
Kasi pagka na-hydrolock ka,
Oh.
yun ang pinakaunang kailangan mong gawin. Tanggalin yung spark plug. People would say, na may nagsabi noon sa isa sa mga comments, na parang, oo nga, no, di ko naman iisipin na magtatanggal ako na spark plug between a ride or something like that. But for adventure riding, it's not about changing a busted spark plug. It's really more of if you get into the situation where you get hydrolocked, that's what you'll need.
Especially
Spark
tayo,
plug is like
madalas umiilog tayo, di ba?
spark plug is like repair number 3 on the most common list.
Talaga.
Yeah, first is no tires, diba? Second is throttle, yung clutch cable na puputol. Third is spark plug.
Spark plug.
I mean, do not forget to the tool to remove your spark
But that's
plug.
included usually.
Shoot, ako wala akong spark plug remover sa...
Pare, kung pinasukan ka ng water, I cannot help you.
Swerte mo yung tinayo yung motor mo eh.
Oo,
Kasi
swerte lang yun.
sa
Oo.
tambucho lang pumasok eh.
Oo.
But if it's the other way around, that's a different story.
Wala yan, bro.
Yeah, that's the starting point.
Okay,
Motors that came
so
with
let's
the bike.
pag-usapan natin yung dala mo dyan. So, maybe show it on the camera. Yun yung camera mo ito.
Eto. Well, this is what I bring for me because this is what I can do with my bike. But basically, I can remove a whole clutch pack. Di ko nga rin nila yung magneto puller ko.
For the
Yun, pwedeng
audience,
gawin.
Inigo rides a Royal Enfield Himalayan.
Yeah, that's
So,
why.
which is kailangan talaga nila.
Kailangan
What I
talaga na
use.
maraming the tools. So, yeah. So, it has the basic wrenches sizes. I have the open wrenches with the most common sizes that I can for my bike. I also have a ratchet tool that has a different Allen bolts and a different sockets.
Going back dun sa stock toolkit na yan, first thing we can recommend is to replace it with better quality tools. The sizing is correct but the problem is usually those things are of the lowest quality just to comply with just to complete the
talaga.
checklist.
So, minsan yung butas nito, hindi malaki pa masyado, tapos sobrang lambot.
So, hindi sakto.
Yeah, it can strip, kayang bumilog ng bolt.
Okay.
So, get quality ones na at least pag ginanyan mo siya within the bolt, yung, what do you call this, yung open wrench mo, sakto siya. Wala siyang
play.
Walang
play.
Yeah. 10 is 10.
You might
70
actually make things
So, what
worse.
brand do you recommend? Anong magandang brand na okay na for toolkit?
Marami na ngayon lumalabas.
Actually, even the Chinese ones, even the cheap Chinese ones, they're better than the stock.
Mahawakan mo naman yan eh. You can feel it.
They're better than stock. Just anything is better than stock. Ganun kalali. It's hard to buy a lesser quality than the stock.
So usually the stock will come with, let's say for example, the 10 open wrench. It will be a 10 open wrench on one side and then a 12 on the other side. Diba? Pero malambot. Mararamdaman mo siya na malambot. And so just, I bring one individually. And I swear by these, the ratcheted
Subok
ones.
na yan. Yung ratcheted.
Yung isang
okay.
side at
Oo
least.
nga, no?
So at
Oo nga,
least
no?
just saves you the effort.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't have that because it adds weight.
So itemize ulit natin
Pero
just
masarap
to be
din.
clear. So first, special tool that came with your bike, yun yung mga lock, pantanggal ng mga kung ano-ano.
Pangtanggal ng
Yes.
Gulong, yan.
Number
Spark
1 yan.
plug remover.
And then tubes. So bring both for your rear and
For
front.
those that are going back to the tubes, for those na medyo weight-weenie, talagang parang really just want to risk it, you can go with patch kits.
Mahirap ba yan? Or same lang din
It's
ang
probably
effort?
like vulcanizing on the way. So,
But does it work? Like, is it
yeah.
as effective as just replacing the entire tube?
Replacing the entire tube pretty much, it makes it sure na hindi sisingaw
gives you
yung...
confidence.
Oo. Yung, what do you call this? Yung hangin sa saan siya nabutasan. But this one works like a vulcanizing patch.
Yeah.
This comes from my experience of mountain biking and cycling.
Majority of the time, that's good enough.
It's good enough.
enough,
Unless you have a tear that's so big that this one can't patch it.
Yeah.
So, if talagang weight weenie ka, pero, ayan, ayaw mo dalhin yun.
We're talking about may tube, but yung mga tubeless, definitely yung mga tubeless kit. Yung
Yeah,
parang
they do.
It's the pasak thing.
pasak thing, yung parang may corkscrew.
The bacon
Yes,
strips.
yung bacon strip.
Yeah.
Pero, here's the logic dun eh. Even if you have an alloy rim, yung mga tubeless rims, there's a small chance, it can still happen, that you'll bend your rim. You don't know, you might hit a pothole or a rock or
I
something.
just bent mine, right?
Yeah, the Himalayan has steel rims, okay? That's very hard to bend. So even him, it's a simple crack on the road. He bent his rim.
Talaga.
A little bit. Pero it just goes to show na even on the road, you can bend your rims even with steel rims. So, ang logic ko dyan, even if you have an alloy rim, carry a tube. I know it's added weight and you think na you might not need it, pero if you bend an alloy rim, there's a chance that your tubeless tire will not seat. It will not hold air. And the only way to get home or get out is to carry a tube and to put a tube in it. And chances are, out in the province, no one's gonna carry the tube of your bike, of the size of your bike. Yan. You can have it professionally bent, your alloy rim, you can have it professionally bent back once you come back to Manila. You can't just hammer that back, especially the ones made of aluminum. Once you hammer that back without doing it the proper procedure, you're gonna crack that rim. You're not gonna get home at all talaga. You might as well just carry a tube as a backup, the ultimate backup talaga.
Yeah.
There's no replacement for that.
Okay. So, that's for tubes. And then you mentioned, going back yung spark plug remover. And spark plug na rin siguro o hindi. Di naman kailangan. Magagamit mo naman ulit yung spark plug.
It's best practice to carry a spare. Even just one will do. Pero very rare.
Pag luma na, no? Pag
Very
medyo
rare.
luma na.
Very rare na nasisira yung spark plug. So normally we just remove it, clean it, or I don't just
Yan
clean
ba
it.
yun?
Okay na yan.
Yan ba yan?
This is a spark plug remover.
That's for his bike.
Yeah, for my bike.
Each bike has hindi naman,
different
pero
size. Kung
Yeah,
kailangan mo
there
pa
are like
malaman
three,
yung-
approximately three. More pa naman. Pero there are approximately 3 common spark plug sizes. Bring the one that's for your bike.
Well, that's very important kasi hindi ko basta bumili ng spark plug remover, so yun na yun. di
Yeah,
ba?
when you actually look at this Shopee spark plug remover, oh my God, there's like 5 different sizes. Parang which one's yours?
Normally mo makikita mo sa manual yan, di ba? Kung anong klaseng...
Yes.
Normally.
Or online, look it up. I'm sure
Exactly.
there'll be...
Or you can ask your groups. Most likely people know naman eh. There will be some people who knows the sizes
Or
naman.
bring it to your mechanic and then when he
Right.
changes your spark plug to an iridium or something like that, size yan.
Yan.
Okay, so spark plug remover, may mga open wrenches ka dyan. Definitely specific dapat sa kung anong
bike
tornilyo
mo. Yeah.
available yung bike. And then meron kang ratchet.
Meron din ako ratchet. So these are for the sockets. So I have a ratchet. So I have basically overkill ako but common sizes 8, 10, 12, 14 up to
Inigo carries more sizes than necessary for his bike because he usually is the designated mechanic for his group. Trail mechanic for his group. So, so people rely on him. So he brings stuff that's beyond his bike's needs talaga. He can pare that down to probably half its size just for himself lang.
Yeah, so with the ratchet, the nice thing about this one is aside from it comes from the sockets, you have the Allens for it. Just makes the job
Mga
easier.
accessories. No?
A 1/4 socket is good. A 1/4 ratchet is good.
And just for the record, guys, these tools that he's presenting, these aren't actually like made in USA type tools. These are just simple Chinese tools that you can
China,
just buy off Shopee.
May nabibili na...
And he's fixed several bikes with these already. So you
May
don't...
nabibili mong set niyan na ganyan? Pati yung lalagyan?
No, sadly. You have to build this on your own depending on your preferences.
Pero 700 lang, yung pula yun eh. Yung pula yung box. Natawa ako kasi noong una kong binili yun, nakala ko, okay, Chipipay, ganyan. Sabi ko, sige, I've been using it a lot. And then suddenly, over time, I've been meeting mechanics also. Mechanics pa to ng kasa. Biglang, ang dala-dala yun din. Sabi ko, solid
It
to.
works.
Kalayo. And it has been with me for more than 3 years na.
Ako, mine kasi yung nakabili ako na online. Brand niya Flyman.
A Flyman is,
It works.
So, Oh, I don't know if it's original Flyman. I bought it online. It's not as expensive as yung mga Stanley.
Yeah.
But so far,
Listen,
okay naman siya.
Stanley tools, you'll need it if you're really doing or building your bike
Building your bike talaga.
day in, day out.
Even that's not.
But is it worth
right.
investing on it? Like if someone
Even the brand Stanley's not has gone down since through the years. So parang even that's not in the
hindi na rin siya nasali.
prosumer range na.
Yeah, the Incos, the
Ilan-
Roses is fine.
They're all the same. I mean, like they'll get the job done. Don't worry about it too much na.
Okay.
As long as you have something better than the stock toolkit, you're gonna do better. I swear, you're gonna get far.
All right. So, and then you mentioned something earlier, yung clutch cable. Is it an essential?
It's very essential, actually. Granted, on the Japanese bikes, it rarely happens that you snap a clutch cable. Pero for, let's say, example nga, since our bike of choice is the Royal Enfield Himalayan, due to its accessibility and price, and it performs fine. The clutch cable snaps quite frequently. I mean, like compared to the Japanese bikes. But it's not that frequent that you always will use it like every ride. Pero yeah, it has happened a lot na people will snap their clutch cable, whether water entering the clutch cable when you fall in the river, eventually may rust yan eh. So I always recommend to people, always carry a clutch cable when you're gonna go on a ride.
Proprietary ba ang clutch cable or any clutch cable would do?
Hindi
Basta
man
mahaba.
any. There are a couple of types. Pero chances are you will find a compatible clutch cable sa mga small bike shops. But you don't want to get there. Kasi not even in the province, not every shop carries every type of clutch cable for the small bikes eh. Even amongst the small bike world, there are several types of clutch cables pa. So you might as well ask the group. They might know the compatible clutch cable, the cheap ones. It costs like 100 pesos for a clutch cable from a small bike. Just carry that along. It's not a lot, pero it's an insurance eh. Kumbaga, again, even if you don't know how to change your clutch cable,
Just
100% sure the guy who's gonna drop by or the shop you're gonna drop by
Meron.
knows how to do it.
Alam na gawin.
And the thing about the clutch cable is kasi is you don't know when it will snap. I mean,
Tama.
with both cables, parang minsan there's a certain feel to it. Pagka sanay ka, alam mong paputol na yun eh.
Yeah.
Pero it happens when it happens. So just like for us in our team sa FJ, so we brought our spare clutch cable. And last day,
May nasiraan.
as in last day, 7 o'clock PM, papunta na kami sa mga final few checkpoints.
Yeah.
Biglang poof, naputol yung clutch cable ni Edri. She fixed it within 5 minutes.
Galing.
Kaya talaga.
I didn't even remove my
Sarap
helmet.
sumama sa inyo Walang problema sa...
I was in the zone na eh. Naputulan clutch cable niya. Di na ako sabi niya, clutch cable.
Di na tinanggal yung helmet
Di ko na tinanggal. I put my side stand down. Pagbaba ko ng bike, kinuha ko clutch cable ko. Tapos si Edri, may siya. Alam ko may siya. Yung Gerber ba yun? Multi-tool. Sige, tanggal ka agad eh. Mas natagalan pa ako sa tanggalin yung naputulan. May naiwan sa loob. Doon napunta yung 3 minutes eh. But essentially without that, I
Naiwan
could
sa
just...
yung pang-hook niya doon sa lever.
I could change it like 2 minutes eh. If you nasanay ka na, kaya eh.
Dakar. Di ba sa mga Dakar, bibilis mo lang.
Ganun
And you need to rent your bike there.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why we got into this. I mean, when I've been asking Dennis din, what have you...
I want to travel. I love traveling. And I love touring.
Bakit mo naisip magkutingting ng
And
motor?
even if you have a
Same.
Japanese bike or whatever ultra reliable, small parts will break off.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to put it back together.
Yeah, over time, syempre, di ba, na luluma din yan. Di ba?
Yes. No matter how good
It
of a
will break
bike
at
you
some
have.
point.
It will break.
So, I mean, going back to the clutch cable, actually, I recently nakapanood ako ng video kay FMG. Super galing.
Oh
guy.
yeah, I watched that.
Yeah. He has a video about what tools to bring on long rides especially. And there's this one nice hack that he has. If you don't want to bring the whole clutch cable set, just bring the wire inside. So how will you be able to find that? Actually, ako minsan pwede pang bicycle cable.
Kasi
Bicycle.
cable lang din sa loob nun.
Yes. So you bring the cable, you measure it to as long as how you need it doon sa clutch mo, and then you buy one of these nipples. So
Medyo hardcore na to.
Yeah,
may
actually-
nipple ka din sa loob doon.
That's
Sa
actually
toolkit mo.
pretty hardcore.
Galing, eh.
But that's the most ultralight method.
Oh, okay.
That's the
small
most
shops will have this also.
Yeah.
Kasi
I didn't know that.
then you put in the cable there, tapos you just screw it with something small, iipitin niya yun.
Yeah.
Yun ay lock niya sa other
Pero
side.
bro, there are multiple sizes for
And
that.
then,
multiple sizes.
And then gamitin mo lang yung hose niya.
Yes.
Yung existing hose.
Pero yun nga, going back, that's pretty hardcore, and I normally do not recommend that for normal people because parang that's an additional step for something that's already
That can be
complicated for
readily,
other people.
readily
eh.
available naman.
I mean, that's if you have a hard time finding a clutch cable. for
Yung
your
bike kasi
bike.
ni FMG, that's a cruiser bike. And normally yung mga clutch cables nila, ang hirap hanapin.
Yeah.
Kasi it's extra
It's
long,
longer.
tapos may custom handlebars ka. It's a lot longer and it's a lot more harder to find.
Actually,
so for those,
Nagka-experience
that is a
din
good
ako sa
one.
enduro bikes na ang hirap minsan mahanapan. Like, my brother napatulan siya nung Santa Ines kami and all. We were there in C5 extension. We've been through a number of shops. Wala rin kasi ang unang itatanong sa'yo ng mga shop, pang anong motor? So pag sinabi mo na kagad yung model ng motor mo, wala kami niyan.
Hindi na nila kilala eh. Minsan hindi nila kilala.
Kaya bisa ikaw makikiusap. Hindi boss, baka meron kayo dyang katulad, ganyan. So now you'll start comparing. So, ayun.
Diyan magmamatter yung ganyan. Yung,
Yeah.
Yung ina-assemble mo.
Yung ina-assemble mo. So it's just the inner wire and then this nipple.
Yeah.
This is 25 pesos in Shopee or Lazada. And very light na rin. So we'll
For
bring
the
up to
harder
sizes.
core adventure riders,
Ito kasi
this is
mga hard
good.
to mga to eh. Hobby nila talaga
may
mag-mechanic.
level of practicality tayo. So, on my perspective, carry the cable. For this guy here,
I'll carry the cable and this.
I'll carry the parts of the cable.
Yung mga mechanic, iba talaga mindset itong mga to. Mas mahirap, mas gusto nila eh. Okay, so before we move on to the next topic, again, i-run through ko lang ulit. So you need bring the special tools that came with the bike para especially yung sa gulong para makalas mo yung front and back and sport, especially pag na flat ka, di ba? And then spare tubes. So ang recommendation ni Dennis is bring both for front and back. Huwag ka na mag-eksperimento ng one tube for both, right? Ako personally, hindi naman nagmamatter yung weight ng sobrang negligible yung weight nun para
Makauwi ka ng
ma-inconvenient ka,
maayos.
di ba? Yun. And then third is cable, ano yan? Yung spark plug remover. And then yung mga tools, you need to have a toolkit in your bike.
At least the complete Allen wrenches.
Yan, complete Allen wrenches. Ano yung mga sukat ng open wrench?
You can carry, for the people with Japanese bikes, it's the basics 8, 10, 12, 14.
Okay.
Those-
8, 10, 12, 14.
Yeah, by 2, diba? Those 4 sizes, those are the most common sizes sa lahat.
Parang paulit-ulit, para pare-pareho eh.
Yeah, that's the
Pero
nice thing with
minsan-
Japanese bikes, standardized, most of them anyway.
Yeah.
If hindi, carry a 17.
You have to
carry
get to
a
know
thir-
you have to get to
13.
know your own bike kasi sometimes they carry weird sizes din. So yun.
Okay. And then lastly, cable, clutch cable. No, so again, hindi naman normally napuputol yan, pero pag naputulan ka and wala kang clutch cable, wala ka nang magagawa talaga.
Yeah. There is a way on how to ride your bike without the clutch cable. Yung mga clutchless shifting, mga ganon. Pero pare, like,
You need to be
just carry the
very
cable,
skilled.
man.
Dala ka na lang ng clutch cable, di ba?
Yung kinakapa mo sa shifter, pag pumasok. Okay, pasok.
Ginagano mo pa ng konti, pinapapap.
ano
ng
yan?
konti.
Ibang ano yun? Ibang
Yeah.
level yun.
So with all these things, okay ka na? Like
Screwdrivers.
Ayun, screwdrivers.
Screwdrivers. At least a Phillips and a
Yung cross.
Yeah. Phillips is the cross. Flat.
Flat and
Phillips, cross, and then plies. Set of pliers. Long nose better.
Okay.
Actually, okay din tong mga to. Ito, adjustable na, what do you call
Pero
this?
normally long nose mas maganda.
Yeah. But bring a set of pliers. Why? If you need to pull a cable.
Or if you're an EDC, everyday carry kind of guy, just carry your Leatherman. Medyo exage, pero I carry a Leatherman.
Ano
sa-
yun? Parang multi-tool, gano'n?
Yeah, it's like the iconic multi-tool na nakikita mo. It has a long nose pliers. Tapos, tibay niya. I use it every day.
Yeah.
Even when wrenching on bikes.
Yeah.
Rather than reaching out for the long nose pliers sa drawer, I just bring out the Leatherman. Until now, it hasn't worn out that much.
It's convenient pa.
Yeah, oh.
The nice thing about that one kasi pag dala-dala mo rin yun, it already brings you one more thing, a blade.
Okay.
Which I also carry a lot. So I carry a blade.
Ano yan? For mga wires? Ganun?
Yeah, for mga wires, kung may kailangan ka strip or
Yeah.
basically may kailangan kang maliit lang na tanggalin. So, yun, carry a blade.
So we've covered the
Yung,
top
yung
three.
ano, yung bag na yung ano na yan. So, yeah, ano yan, Rhino Walk?
Yeah.
Ganda.
It's Rhino.
Rhino Walk, for those who, yung mga social na hindi alam yung Rhino Walk, it's from Lazada Racing. So, ano yan, parang, I think, cheaper version ng Kriga yan, di ba?
Yeah. It's LRS.
Kasi parang napansin ko yung ano yun, Moscow Moto and Kriga, meron version sila.
Yeah. They will have a version of a tool pack, basically.
Yeah.
But with those naman, tools are not included.
All right. Okay, so those are the tools that you need for basic tools you need for adventure riding. No one's limiting you to bring other tools that you feel na kailangan ninyo, right? But at the very least, you need to have these things with you.
You need to have stuff to fix your tire. You need to be able to fix your throttle cable. Your clutch cable. And you need to be able to remove the spark plug and check it out.
Yeah.
And fix whatever comes loose. Handlebar,
Yun, yung mga,
accessories.
Normally, ano yan,
Fairings.
normally side mirror na loose. So you need to have the tool to tighten that up again.
Nakakainis yun eh.
Sobrang common yun, di ba?
14. It's a 14.
Every ride, parang bro, my side mirror's loose. Ano na naman? Someone in the group's gonna say my side mirror's loose.
I think side comment lang. I think yun yung maganda sa ano, no? Yung parang double take, di ba? Kasi parang di ano na lang siya eh. Pero may Lazada version na rin pala na double take. So, anyway.
Just the the ram mount, but the actual nylon
yung
mirror,
wala.
original pa rin,
Original.
3,000 plus pa rin sa.
So, okay. Two more topics. The next one would be, so these are the tools that you need when you bog down in the middle of the ride. But how do you really prepare your bikes so that you can avoid these things, right? Kasi I guess you would agree with me, the goal is to not have any technical issues, right? And prevention is always the cure, right? So how do you prepare a bike for an adventure, right? So, kunwari itong FJ Moto, ano dapat yung mga ginawa? Guilty ako dyan kasi hindi ako nag-prep ng bike eh. Ano ba dapat yung ginawa ng mga riders before they go?
Kasi if you're asking a couple of guys who's mechanically inclined, so generally we keep our bikes always ready to ride.
Or andun na sa level na when we know something's off. So, minsan sa pakiramdam lang.
We don't even check it out.
Parang
Kasi
sa
we
tenga.
kind of can feel it. Yeah.
Sa
But
feel.
for riders, what would you suggest for other riders?
Most
right?
people do the right thing and just take their bikes to the shop right before they go on a long
Yeah.
ride. Because normally we can see that.
PMS.
Normally, when you're gonna say, I'm gonna go on a long ride, can you check my bike out? Ano, basics lang naman yun eh. We ask you when you had your last oil change. We check the thickness of your brake pads in comparison to how far you're gonna travel. If you're gonna travel, let's say, a Philippine loop, and you've consumed, let's say, 25% pa lang ng brake pads mo, I would probably replace your brake pads just to be on the safe side. Pero let's say your brake pads are like 50% consumed and you're gonna go on a Cordillera ride. I wouldn't change your brake pad. I said, just come back when you're done. Kasi probably when you come back, you've just consumed 25% lang. So, makapal pa. I wouldn't excessively change your brake pad just because you're gonna go on a Cordillera ride because it's not gonna consume that much eh. Assuming you don't, keep on using it too much.
But yeah, parang to put it into a checklist, diba? Parang check everything that makes the engine run. So that is at least have your air, what do you call this? Air filter
Air filter.
cleaned. What do you call this? Ano pa ba related sa congestion? Air, gas, spark plug, malinis, maayos. Just
Oil.
and then oil. Just have those checked. And then check the mechanical parts.
Yung mga
So,
subsystem
the
niya. Brakes, suspension,
suspension,
tires, chain tension.
chain
yun.
tension, very
Yun, chain.
important.
Hindi natin check yun lagi eh.
Yeah.
Guilty ako lahat sa mga sinasabi nyo.
Normal
Wala
check.
akong time mag-check.
Exactly.
Steering nut at least na walang kaltog.
Yeah.
So
Lagotok.
because
Kaltok is yung...
Yung lagotok,
plate.
when you go through a bump, parang tok, may nafe-feel ka sa parang
feel
hard
kang
feel na sa
so
ano.
just make sure since we're talking about ADV rides, it's not going to be riding on the road. It's going to be quite harsh on the
Right.
bike. So, yun.
Those are the things we check out for. So normally yun nga, brakes, chain, engine, kung may tunog, steering, suspension. We check those things out and we recommend fixing it before you go on a ride.
Yeah.
Yung mga
Do you
ganun.
think it's an essential skill for riders to learn yung basic checks na ganyan, or still better pa rin dali mo na lang sa marunong para
If
alam
you're
mo yung
doing
ginagawa?
adventure riding, better.
Actually, it's highly recommended because you will break down. I mean, like if you go
Inevitable,
off road, it's so harsh on the bike. You will break down one way or another, or you will have a friend who will break down, especially in group kayo, diba?
Yeah.
You will have a friend who will eventually break down.
Tapos doon na matututo na
And
rin
you
siya.
can't be a dead weight in the group As a team, let's say like 3 lang kayo nag off-road. You can't be dead weight You can either carry the tools, do the know-how, or, parang...
Provide moral.
Provide moral support.
Kaya mo yan, kaya mo yan.
Pare, ganun yung first time na I rode with the Adventurers. I was lucky na everything fell into place The first time we rode with Mel Macato, Ilan, and Julio, and the others, I was there, and I guess may kaalaman naman ako. I knew how to, nasunugan ng clutch ni Ilan. Okay, example lang to like an adventure ride. Light, this is technically in comparison to what we are doing today na sanay na kami. This is a very light trail. Nasunugan clutch ni Ilan. Okay. So, what happened was, I didn't have the tools for his I didn't bring a toolkit. Pero I kind of know how to take a bike apart naman. So, maganda dyan, one of the guys brought the complete tools. And si Mel, dala-dala niya isang spare clutch spare clutch plate. So, each one of us brought something to the ride. And it was complete. I mean, we helped each other.
Okay na.
Yeah, so it goes to show nga lang na don't just be there for the ride, but rather, kahit paano, know something about how to help each other in case, if and when, you will break down. Carry something to the table and help the group out.
But with regarding to the pre-checks that we mentioned a while ago, those are not very extreme
Yeah.
Diba? Para it's not taking apart the engine or something like that. But those are, especially the mechanical checks, have a know-how on that one.
Yeah.
Just so that, to make sure na bago ka maumandar, makita mo yung kadena mo, hindi nakalaylay.
It's your
Tama.
horse. Kabayo mo yan Get to know it and know.
Alam mo, naisip ko lang, maybe if you have time in the future, but mag-conduct kayo ng basic, maybe training, right? Know-how. Maybe when you launch your shop, di ba? That's gonna be the,
For sure yan.
like a
for
first
sure yan.
By next week, pwede yan
activity. Di ba? Ako, I'll be there kasi problema ko yan Hindi, medyo techie din ako, pero hindi, syempre pag di mo alam yung
You've already replaced your brake pads. I'm proud of you actually.
Naiinis ako si Dennis kasi dumating ako sa kanya, bakal sa bakal na yung brake pads ko. Sabi niya, paano ako nag-ride ng ganito?
Wala ka ba naririnig?
Ayan, at least matutong sipatin mo yung brake pad mo para alam mo na, mukhang malapit na to.
Pinigyan ano naman niya ako, o ikaw magpalit ng brake pad mo para matuto ka. Walang iya ka. Okay, so yan. Thank you for that. Another topic. So, maybe, and ang goal ko din sa question to is provide tips, right? So, share with us your experience, yung kinasabi niyo, mga breakdown, what's common breakdown, and ano yung mga practical na solution. Rather, kasi minsan, na-experience ko to rather than ayusin, mas tutulak ko na lang kasi may ano dyan right? May vulcanizing shop dyan, right? So ano yung mga, like, what can you share?
Sorry, may nakalimutan tayo kasi speaking of our experiences in breakdown, may nakalimutan tayo in the what to bring. Zip ties, lots of them.
Oo, tama.
Lots of zip ties.
Tama.
Kasi sa practical breakdown, unahan ko na yung my side stand got the spring. Naputol yung pinagkakalsuhan ng spring. Tumama sa bato. That was on the road to Tinok sa FJ. Pak! So laylay yung...
Ang Baguio.
Oo. Laylay yung yung... tawag dito. Yung side stand ko. And it was fixed by zip ties. So basically, naikalso yung yung side stand spring. And then, zinip tie lang siya. And unfortunately, until now, ganun pa rin.
Ano yan?
Isa pang samantagal thing.
We call that pansamantagal.
Matagal.
Yeah, it
2
works.
3 zip ties until now it hasn't lodged out. So yeah, bring along.
Oo nga, it makes sense. Kasi yun. Tsaka iba diba parang duct tape, nagdadala ng duct.
Yeah.
Duct
pati
tape, electrical tape, mga ganun. For people na may bikes with vulnerable exhausts, tenere, for example, every time you fall to the right, your exhaust get hit. There's a small chance na it might fall off. So, regarding sa zip ties, I actually carry stainless steel zip ties along with the nylon ones. So, the stainless steel zip ties are primarily for the exhaust talaga. Kasi, para hindi matunaw, di ba? So, I carry that for special occasion. And I just carry like 3 pieces lang kasi it's rare naman that you'll need an entire set for that.
Actually, may naayos din yung stainless steel zip tie niya eh. Yung maliit. Nasira yung upuan ko, yung camping chair ko.
Ayun, no.
Stainless steel.
Normal zip ties won't cut
Let
it.
me guess, hanggang ngayon naka-stainless steel. Zip tie pa rin. Ano pang experiences ninyo? Like what can you consider na parang ito talaga yung pinaka-common and ano yung pinakamahirap na nangyari?
Ang pinaka-common nga is when we start the discussions, the pinaka-common is the tires. It's always the number one fear of any rider, whether you be a tubed or tubeless kind of guy. Second one is the the clutch cable. You need to carry a way on how to fix it. Ganun. Regarding sa throttle cable, 9 times out of 10, it's always the clutch that's gonna break. I've rarely seen a throttle cable break. Not impossible, but I've rarely seen it break. To the point na parang kung naputulan ako, parang malas eh.
But it happened to me. It happened to me when I was in Marilake. Tapos luckily, I was able to find parts.
Yeah.
But if not, may nakita akong clip.
Pero yun nga, if ever it happens to you, naputulan ka ng throttle cable, mahalas talaga
Mahalas na
yun.
yan.
Like, malas ka na kung clutch ka. Pare, the chances of a throttle cable breaking, mas malas ka pa. Sobra na. Kasi, yun nga, 9 times out of 10, it's just the clutch that's gonna break. The clutch cable is gonna break. You can carry a throttle cable, pero, yun nga, it's super rare.
Yeah.
If the what do you call this? If the throttle cable snaps, kasi yun kahit paano yung actuated ng kamay mo, isang pwede mong gawin, it usually snaps on the assembly.
Yung ulo.
Yes.
Oo,
Kasi that's where the twisting happens eh. So may isang nakita ko na linup lang niya sa
nakita ko yun.
niya.
Ginagawa niya parang sing-sing.
Oo,
Tapos
ginagawa. Parang
hinuhugot-hugot.
bangka. Parang bangka, di ba?
Yeah.
So at least gaganon-ganon
Pero hardcore.
Medyo hardcore yun. Pero means yung mauuwi ka kung gusto mo hardcore. Kasi, I mean, wala kang choice pagka nasiraan ka on the middle of the trail. And then
wala na.
So,
Gagawa mo talaga ng paraan.
gagawa mo na lang talaga ng paraan eh. Or the best way naman sa paggaganyan is always bring rope.
Tama, yun. Essential yun.
Always bring rope. So if hindi ka ganun ka-hardcore na talagang i-risk mo yung mo at pahila ka.
Tama.
Pahila ka sa mga kaibigan mo which will kind of like magastos sa clutch lining yun. Pero sige lang.
Expect mo na magpapalit ka na ng lining.
But bring your own rope. Hindi yung, syempre, di ba, parang kung maghahanap ka pa sa'yo, depende ka pa. So, yan, piece of rope is always important when doing ADV rides.
So, going back to dun sa, ito personal question. Going back to dun sa pagpalit ng tires. Na-experience ko yan eh. Kala ko madali. Hindi siya madali. Okay? Yung pag-unseat nung bead, yung pinakamahirap eh. Sobrang tigas niya. So, hindi ko, parang mga 2 oras kaya ako kalahati.
Which is why I said, diba, 2 hours to change a tire.
Oo, parang gano'n.
Yeah, first time, ganun din.
Ang hirap talaga niya eh. Hindi, dati kasi kala ko meron kasi akong dala na parang panikwat.
Tire
yung mga
levers.
bibili na
Tire
200
levers,
each,
yes.
right? Ang liit eh. Kala ko, okay na to. Pucha, hindi niya kaya. Hindi niya kaya talaga. So, I don't know kung may technique doon or paano gagawin. But paano nyo...
Changing a tire is 80 to 90% technique. It's actually not strength. It's technique. The number one thing we have to remind people when changing a tire, di ba na-unseat mo na sa bead? So it's kind of looseness around the rim. Wherever you're trying to pry it off, on the opposite side of the tire, you have to always press it to the middle. They call it the drop side. The drop side, the drop center. There's always like a groove in the middle of the tire sa rim where it's the lowest part, diba? That space is to allow you to shift the tire slightly so it won't fight you with your tire lever. It'll make it a lot easier.
So kaya ba yung iba nila parang lumuluhod sila dun sa yun ba yun?
Yeah.
Sa kabilang side.
Yeah, it's to
Watch
always
yung
push
mga
it down.
nagbubulkanize.
Oo.
Di ba ilalagay nila on top of another small tire. Basta nakalutang yung ano na yon, yung gulong, yung rim. And then pag sinikwat nila isa, hindi pa na nga nila pinupush ng todo. Pagka ganon, that's when they start to step on the other parts of the tire.
I noticed kasi most of the videos, how-to videos in YouTube, let's say, they don't actually explain that because they're kind of used to it that they don't even explain it anymore.
It matters pala.
Yeah, it matters.
Yung lalagyan mo ng pressure yung gilid.
Yeah, and some of the techniques, it comes so natural to them that they're so used to it that they don't even say it anymore. So when I was learning on how to change a tire manually, 2 hours per tire. And that's the front wheel. So the 20...
Isang gulong lang
you
yan.
think it's the...
Isang gulong lang
diba?
yan,
You think it's easy, the 21-inch wheel na, I have a lot of space. Ganun. If you don't know, you don't know with the wrong techniques, grabe.
One more thing then, when where to start to first pry, go always opposite of the pito.
The valve.
Talaga? Bakit?
It's
Kasi
not,
may kapit?
hindi siya ganun katigas doon eh.
Ganon.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay yun Yung mga ganon Ako hindi ko alam. Wala na ako. Basta sinikot ko siya. By the time I'm done, tapagod na ako. Gusto ko na umuwi. Tapos na yung red.
With regards to, yun nga, it goes back to everything that we talked about since the beginning of this podcast. Practicality. When I tell people or when I teach people how to go on tours, mga touring na techniques, that's the reason why I always say to bring a tube, not a patch kit. You can bring a patch kit if you're mas hardcore ka and you know how to do everything yourself. Pero normally, I just tell people to carry a tube. Even ako, I don't actually carry a patch kit. Pero I have a tube. The reason being is, if I get a flat, I don't change tires every day. So it's gonna take me a long while just to fix a tire. So what I normally tell people, especially if you're lucky na your tire is kind of on the hard side, you can actually run flat. You can run flat for just go at a speed of like less than 20 kilometers per hour, travel every 10 minutes, then rest. What happens kasi is the tires that break, yung nasisira when they run it flat, they overheat. Kasi when your tires are flexing so much when you're running flat, it overheats and eventually breaks. So, ang sinasabi ko, usually, just run it flat for a couple of kilometers and most likely, there's gonna be a vulcanizing shop there. And those guys, they change tires every day, several times a day. They can change your tire in like 30 minutes. And let's say you run it flat and you tear the tube, you have a spare tube.
Oo, tama. Pero yung tire ba mismo, hindi masisira yan?
Unlikely Just don't overheat the rubber. Just don't overheat it. Run for like 10 minutes, 20 kilometers per hour. You'll be able to get there without ruining the tire.
Unti-unti, no? Unti-unti mo na lang. Gapangay mo na lang. No?
Yeah, kaysa you're gonna spend 2 hours and you're not even sure if you're gonna fix it properly. And you know what the problem if you don't know how to change your own tire? I mean, you're gonna attempt, diba? There's what we call mapipinch mo yung tube when you're gonna put it back. Putting it back, if you put it back the wrong way, you can puncture your own tube. So isipin mo, you spent
Back
an
to
hour.
zero.
You spent an hour, spent this one just to get everything. And then when you're gonna inflate your tube na, you think you're done, dun mo realize may butas pala tube mo because of your own fault. So, practicality, just let somebody else do it.
Pero okay lang yun yung run flat mo ng konti.
Yeah, just don't overheat the tire. Save the tire. I mean, run it slow. Gapang.
Wasakin mo na yung interior mo. Anyway, may spare tube ka naman.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a good
it's
point.
price to pay for practicality.
Ingat
sometimes.
lang when doing that na kumalas yung gulong sa rim.
May tendency ba na kumalas?
Yeah, that's kaya nga some do the rim lock route. For hardcore enduro riders, they will probably advise you kung talagang solid sa trail. Put a rim lock on your wheel. So, I'll leave that to the persons.
Statistically
bahala kung gusto nila.
statistically you won't get a flat off-road. Statistically. Mostly it's because of mga nails on the ground sa mga actual roads. That's the time you're gonna get a flat. So, with that's where my suggestions come in. Let's be practical. There's a chance that you'll do it really slow. There's a chance you might screw up when you're putting the tire back. So just limp and just go to a professional.
Tama. Pansin ko yung mga vulcanizing, lagi sila, kung saan ka na-flat, lagi may vulcanizing na malapit.
Alam na nila yun.
I don't know kung medyo, chances are, marami may flat dito ako magtatayo. Pero, I don't know with you guys, but napansin ko yun eh.
The vulcanizing guys are the saviors of the travelers.
Totoo.
So talaga, I guess it is like that. It's also a good business to see na marami dumadaan dito, walang vulcanizing, tayo vulcanizing dito.
Normally naman, even up, mahilig pa tayo sa bundok, diba? Even up in the mountains, di naman ganun ka-rare ang vulcanizing shop. Parang magugulat ka nga, may nakatayo na vulcanizing shop dyan sa tabi. So I'm thankful for those guys that are there.
Parang sa
Even though kaduda
Dakar,
lahat sila.
may na-flat sa amin sa Dakar nung one time eh. May vulcanizing sa Dakar eh. Doon papunta sa
Sa mismong trail.
may vulcanizing eh.
It happens. Kasi ano rin eh, they need it eh. Actually, even with gas nga eh, people are so worried parang, shit, baka wala tayong magasan dito. Magulat ka eh. There's a different economy of
May
gas.
mga
sari-sari store
Pagdating sa
dyan.
mga
Basta inaabot ng barako, ng 150
Exactly.
barako. O kaya mga XRM, di ba?
And the remote places kasi, yan talaga yung ano nila.
Mode
Yan
of
yung mode of transportation nila. So eventually, minsan may makikita kang tindahan, nagkakarga ng langis, kakarga ng some spares na ganyan. So, meron ka mapupunta.
Alright, so, very good conversation. Almost an hour na kami Parang bilis natin naglutuan.
I think basics pa lang to.
Wala pa
Basics
tayo
pa lang
dun sa...
We haven't gotten to the hardcore here. There's a reason why Inigo carries tawag ito, gasket makers.
May mga gasket
Pare,
makers.
you can and they have been used in FJ Moto. We were
Talaga?
there when it happened.
Siguro next
Best
time
light.
gawin natin sa shop na mismo, 'di ba? May demo, 'di ba? Pagbukas no paglipat nila Dennis, let's do that.
Tama.
Siguro yung last thoughts, one of my advocates would be to encourage more people to do off-roading, try adventure riding. What are your tips, or how would you encourage them?
One of the main reasons why our shop is called Reborn and Company is because every time we come from a ride, we feel reborn, we feel new. There are times, and many of us will understand who are currently riding, na every time irritable na tayo, or we're getting impatient, parang weird ang feeling. Pero every time we come from a ride, we feel new. We feel calm and we feel fulfilled. And anybody who's listening who doesn't ride a motorcycle, I encourage you to ride talaga. Kasi it feels like you're a kid again. Yun nga yun.
Actually,
I don't know how to, we try our best to show you the wonders that we see. We try to bring home as much amazing photos as possible. It's different when you ride.
hindi na justify ng photo yung feeling when you're riding.
We try our best, but we encourage you to ride talaga. It changes how we live. You're more calm, you're more fulfilled. Yeah, and you meet a lot of great people. But that's also another thing we encourage is to try to find a couple of friends, the group that you're most comfortable with your own personality. Yung ganun. So, if you want to off-road, you can join Adventure PH. You can post there and eventually post photos of your own rides, or you can ask plainly, can I join a group ride? Ganun. And there will be people who will invite you, and hopefully you'll like that group. Ganun lang. We just try to find a place where you'll be happy and you belong. Talaga.
Ganda na sinabi ni Dennis. Inigo, go.
For me, adventure riding specifically, it's really a way to discover the beauty of what we have. I mean, the landscape that we are in. Sometimes just doing the highway rides and stuff like that. Kala mo that's what's riding. Yun lang ang riding eh. There's a lot more when you go to the barrio, especially with the things that we do with FJ. There are a lot of landscapes that you'll be so surprised na parang every kada liko mo, diba? Maririnig mo sa cardo, ganda. Wow, ganda. Wow, ganda.
You'll keep on
Kada
hearing
liko. So, and ako, I just came from a adventure ride din. We went to Dinapique. So, parang it was full of that. And then you come home so recharged. Na parang, ang ganda palang Pilipinas, no? Kailan ko kaya ito gagawin? Andun yung konting kilite ng konting, kasi barrio roads You don't know where you're going, ganyan. You don't know kung matatapos mo or tapos ba yung kalsada dito or not. Pero may konting excitement doon na para sa akin it's even a lot more safer than being fast on the road or getting that thrill by being fast on a public road or ano. Para makukuha mo siya at a speed of 20 kph. Yun nga lang, hirap kasi bato-bato at baka pinagdadaanan mo. But nandun na yun Nandun na yung fulfillment ng ride mo. You get over that. It's like a challenge fulfilled. And then you get to enjoy the different places. And then you get to enjoy the different cultures also to see that these places, but these are so untouched.
This is
That's
a
what
nice
adventure
topic for
riding is
another
about.
day.
Galing,
How to
galing,
plan
galing.
how to
Ganda
plan
sinabi
rides
mo.
and how to actually enjoy rides.
Yeah.
This is a nice topic, and we've actually delved into before. We were talking about how to plan rides. Mga ganun.
Sige, we'll have itong podcast ito para sa atin naman to. So we'll have another episode to talk about that. And thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Talk about your businesses. So si Inigo, he's the man behind Grit PH. Suot
Grit.
na shirt ni Dennis. Ako may pants ako So,
Yeah.
sobrang sulit So what's your plan for Grit PH? Anong future niyan?
Well, the plan is, for now, the products that I have out are the basic stuff, basically. So, of course, my dream for Grit is big. I really want it to be a brand that's known for adventures in the Philippines. So, I'm just planning to build up. So, it's about creating more products. For now, I just created a product that will be accessible, because one of the goals is also to make safety and riding accessible for people. So especially in the Philippines, start yan ng makita ko tao dito okay lang ng walang suot na protection. Just so happened that it started with the pants and then the pants flew. So it's more products to come.
Ang ganda ng product mo actually.
Yeah,
Yung pants
thank
is
you for everyone who has
comparable
supported.
Tsaka comfy Yun yung gamit ko ng iTourmoto Yung kinuha ko sa'yo.
Yeah.
Comfortable siya.
And I would like to thank personally everyone who has supported us in this journey, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here, wouldn't be adventure riding as well. But great. We really plan to, focus on adventure products, things that will make safety involved within riding as well. So, just more products.
I think there's a big market to it. So, I think if you grow it, may marami susuporta.
More than that, I mean, it's me. I mean,
This is not your full-time...
No, it is now. Yeah. So it is me, means this is what I enjoy doing.
Okay.
And I would love to create products for the things that I enjoy doing. Yun lang yan.
So looking forward to see more products from you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yung mga shirts mo, ayan, gamit nyo. Sobrang komportable yan So,
these are our products, our tech shirts basically for yung mga mas pili mag-jackets. So, something underneath. Medyo nasuot ko itong 3 araw.
We use this for 3 straight days in iTourmoto.
Okay pa rin.
And I can tell you, hindi kami nangamoy. I mean, it doesn't react with the sweat. So it doesn't give off that smell that you kind of smell when with the other dry fit shirts. This one doesn't have that reaction.
Hindi ka
So it's
nag-aamoy
pretty good.
putok. May dry fit na gano'n di ba? Nag-aarawan ka.
Kudos talaga to Inigo for choosing
So we
the
also
proper fabric.
we also have one which is our base layer. So it's a base layer. It's a long sleeve that has allocations for pads. It's really meant to be worn inside riding jerseys, or then you can top it off with a chest and back protector to make you ADV ready. So did a couple of loops, did the FJ in that.
Para low
one.
profile, no?
Yeah, low profile, but still have the protection at least. Sumemp lang na ako doon, guys.
It's more comfortable using that in the Philippines. Kasi if you try to go the Western route where you have the jackets and all
Sobrang
that,
kapal.
it doesn't breathe right, man. It's light is right sa mga equipment.
But looking forward to see more products from you. Where can people find you? Facebook, di ba?
Facebook and Instagram, Grit Moto, Grit_Moto.
Any chance of opening a store soon?
Well, actually now our products can be found also on the Imprint store in Marikina. We also have in the Label store. We also have in Scoot Life, 108 Garage,
Yeah.
Motorox. May mga other stores din, but hit us up on our Facebook so we can let you know.
Yeah. And then si Reborn, syempre maglalagay ka dito kay
Reborn, of
no?
course. Moto ACCS din. Just bear with us as we, we deal with the production, scaling, and all that. But I have big dreams for Grit, and
keep it
hopefully
up, bro.
it will be able to contribute to the riding community here.
Of course, we'll support our own, right? So,
Thank you.
We'll support Inigo on this Grit.
Salamat.
Reborn.
Yes, our company Reborn and Company, diba?
Yeah.
The very purpose of that is to prepare your bike and inspire you to go out on adventure and go on a ride and be reborn. So, we have we call it the Reborn Motor House.
Yeah.
So that's for the preparation of your bike for the ride. And we will sell some merch and some equipment, let's say, in Grit. It's to prepare the rider for the ride.
Yeah.
So all the media that you see is actually to help you, inspire you to... The ultimate purpose of that is to inspire you to go out and enjoy the things that we also enjoy.
Right.
But let's ride.
Yeah, live life, no?
Yeah, let's live.
And then you also mentioned that Reborn would host mga rides, para mga touring. Is that something that you're doing already, or it's a plan?
It's a plan. We can try to host, or we can assist in going out on rides. For example, if you have a group of buddies that medyo kinakabahan kayo na you might break down, or you want an assistance, kumbaga. And also, you want to remember the ride. So, with our group of, let's say, may mga photographers kami, and also we have mechanics and first aid trained kami. And we have actually, we're gonna have a van. We can just go with you on a ride. Tapos, we'll be your backup.
Yeah.
You don't have to prepare that. You don't have to be so worried about the ride. And when you come back home, you can have all the photos, and we can have an album made of your ride.
Yeah, ganda niyan
Yeah.
Especially for mga newbies, yung mga hindi pa comfortable. I mean, it's always better to have somebody na sanay and kayang tumulong magmekaniko on the ride. Yeah, so I think that's a good plan. We look forward
It's
to it.
currently a plan, and we hope na we can fulfill that. We can make you remember your rides.
Yep.
And share it with other people. Na rin.
Awesome. And syempre, unti-unti, di ba?
Yeah, of course.
Unti-unti muna. So, yan. Reborn and Company.
Yeah.
Right? So, right now, it's here in Presco.
Yes, it's in 69 Saudi Arabia in Better Living. Every time you have your bike service, you have free coffee in Fresca
Yun.
Coffee.
Yeah,
Ang sarap ng coffee dito.
coffee is very good, and
Nagulat
food
ako.
too. In the food too.
Pero Presco is a known parang tambayan ng mga bikers yata every week.
Actually, it has been a known coffee shop in the South talaga.
Talaga.
It's like one of the best coffee shops in the South.
Ganda. First time
talaga.
ko dito actually. So, ganda rito.
So, I mean, sumikat sila doon and all. Luckily, the proprietor is also very into motorcycles. He's the one that is with Dennis also that started this. That's why he has invited a lot of riding
Well,
groups.
thank you
and
for allowing us to shoot this and record this in your coffee shop. So much appreciated. All right, so I think that's it. Thank you guys. Good job. Hey guys, I am reviewing the clips of episode 3 featuring Dennis Chua and Inigo Pimentel. Usapang Mekaniko. I noticed na putol pala yung video sa dulo, but I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed watching it. And if you did, please support my channel by subscribing and hitting on the bell icon so you'll be notified of my upcoming videos. Once again, my name is Julio Rivero, telling you to ride safe, ride free, and ride anywhere. Cheers!